Now it's 4:30 on WKYT this morning. Republican candidate for governor James Comer is defending himself after a former girlfriend accused him of abuse.
Workers at a Central Kentucky racetrack tell us they're frustrated after thieves caused a lot of damage.
And they've been called heroes for what they did to save lives or stop crime. Now they've received a special honor from Lexington police.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning from WKYT. Welcome in. It sure is nice to have you along Wednesday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Another warm morning for us, which is good news, and hopefully we'll get more of the same. Right, Micah?
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Outside, it feels really, really nice. Again, this morning, a very comfortable start. Head toward the afternoon, and we'll be seeing plenty of sunshine again today, so we'll see these temperatures rise very rapidly. We're sitting there in the 50s and even some 60s in some locations. 63 now in Jackson, 61 in Lexington. This is a beautiful, beautiful feeling morning. Head toward the afternoon, and there you go, 86 degrees. It gets even warmer as we slide off today and into the next few days. Notice, I didn't say tomorrow, few days. So here comes that summer warmth we've been talking about. Maybe even a 90-degree reading here or there. I'll show you that coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
This morning, we are tracking a developing story out of Perry County.
Police say a man has been airlifted to the hospital after being shot. It happened around 10 o'clock last night in the Erie community. Police have not said what led up to the shooting. We also don't yet know the man's condition. We'll have updates on WKYT.com and throughout WKYT this morning.
And new this morning, we're tracking a crash in Lincoln County that injured 4 people. Officers tell us 3 vehicles were involved in that crash along US 150 about 2 miles south of Stanford at 9:30 last night. 2 drivers were airlifted to UK Hospital. Another driver and passenger taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The road was closed for almost 4 hours. Officers say they think alcohol played a role in the crash. A Knox County woman is fighting for her life this morning after a crash. This one happened on Highway 25E near Knox Central High School yesterday. Police say a car driven by 54-year-old Brenda Laws hit the back of a tractor trailer. Police say Laws was airlifted to a Tennessee hospital. She's listed in critical condition. A passenger in the car, Tracy Laws, was also airlifted to the hospital.
Republican candidate for governor James Comer said some abuse allegations that a former girlfriend made against him are not true. Comer held a news conference in Lexington yesterday with his wife by his side. The former girlfriend, Marilyn Thomas, told the Courier-Journal that Comer was mentally and physically abusive during the relationship. She also claims Comer became enraged in 1991 after finding out she used his real name on a form at an abortion clinic in Louisville. Comer denied all those allegations. He blamed his political rivals for the claims.
You know, this symbolizes this type of dirty gutter politics, symbolizes everything that I'm against.
Comer says he might pursue legal action against the Courier-Journal and Thomas. The accuser has supported another Republican candidate, Hal Heiner, on social media and has donated money to his campaign. All 4 Republican candidates for governor will take part in a debate today. This is a picture from Kentucky Sports Radio, which is hosting the debate at a radio station in Louisville. James Comer, Hal Heiner, Matt Bevan, and Will T. Scott will debate the issues this morning at 10. That debate will air statewide on stations that carry Kentucky Sports Radio.
The biggest race in the track's history is just 3 days away, but the promoter of a Lincoln County racetrack says thieves tried to put up a roadblock. He says the thieves stole copper wiring and other equipment from Ponderosa Speedway just south of Junction City. Now his crew is rushing to make repairs in time for the race Friday night. Monique Blair has the story.
It's been a headache.
Early Tuesday morning, Ponderosa Speedway promoter Jerry Denson was grooming the track for Friday when it will host the biggest event it has had in 43 years.
I noticed a wire hanging down from one of my caution lights, and I got to looking, and that had been cut.
Denson says thieves stole more than 100 pounds of copper wire, 3 machinery batteries, and a ladder.
I didn't even notice that one.
And while showing us the damage, Denson found even more than he originally thought.
I would like to find out who did it. I mean, it's just make people aware of what people are willing to go through to make maybe $100. The batteries they stole cost me $150 a piece to replace. And I think they bring $8 at the scrap yard.
But he says this major theft couldn't have been easy, as the copper wasn't easy to get to.
Because it was partially buried in the ground.
The wire that was stolen overnight started at this light post behind me and went all the way around the track to the other side, which was about 1,000 feet. And today the new wire that was hung 16 feet in the air in an effort to make it less accessible to criminals.
I'm going to install a camera system.
And now as Denson and several volunteers work quickly to get the track ready for Friday, he says it's not about what he's lost that upsets him the most.
It don't really hurt the business because I'm fixing what they done. Just hurts what you think of people in general.
In Lincoln County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is contacting all the scrap yards in the area to alert them of this copper theft.
The time this morning is 4:36 on WKYT this morning, and some Urban County Council members say they have been left in the dark about the city's recent decisions about the Centerpoint project. City leaders sent developer Dudley Webb a letter demanding the block be filled in. Webb responded with threats of legal action against the city. During a work session yesterday, some council members said they were not included in discussions that city leaders had about Centerpoint, which they referred to as the topic. They said their questions were not being answered.
At one point, we're a legislative body, a deliberative body, an interested body. And I just wonder, in this relative time frame or group of events, how were we left out of any part of any conversation that related to the topic?
Mayor Jim Gray responded by saying his administration was only doing what he believed to be the right choice in holding Webb responsible.
It appears Jeff Ruby isn't giving up on putting a new restaurant in Lexington. Ruby was one of the tenants in the Centerpoint project, but on Twitter last week, he implied the restaurant wouldn't happen there. Last night, we spotted Jeff Ruby's bus parked in front of the old Bellini's restaurant on Main Street, just down from Centerpoint. Ruby would not tell us why he was in town, but in a tweet last night, he said, quote, "I love Lexington. I bleed blue. I will open there." Bellini's closed earlier this year. The building was sold at auction. The new owner plans to redevelop the building.
Obviously enjoys the speculation, so we'll see where that goes.
He's keeping us all in suspense.
Yeah, that's right. Time this morning is now 4:37. They went above and beyond to save lives or to fight crime, and Lexington police honored both officers and people who live here who did some extraordinary things over the last year.
Among those who received awards, a woman who fought off robbers at her store. Jordan Valines was at last night's awards banquet.
The outstanding actions of this self-proclaimed introvert landed her on center stage Tuesday night.
This is not something I was expecting to get an award for.
Zara Adil found herself standing in front of hundreds hired to protect and serve, now honoring her for her heroism.
You have to basically step in as the cop and as a civilian and take a stand. Cops can't be there 24/7.
In February, Adil took matters into her own hands when two men tried to rob her family's tobacco store on North Broadway.
He went for the register because it was still open. And then I got mad. And I jumped onto his hoodie and pulled him and got the register and the gun from him.
All that after shooting the man in the shoulder with his own gun.
I pulled his mask off to see who it was, and he was like, "Just let me go, just let me go."
Adil's instinct to fight back, she says, came from the fact that her father and mother had both been robbed on separate occasions at their store just a few months before.
For us, it's like our income. That's the only thing we're living off of.
And she wasn't going to let that happen again.
We're working like 16-hour shifts to earn our money, and these guys come in instead of getting themselves a job and working hard and stuff, and I'm not going to let somebody do that. You know, it's not fair.
What many would consider fair, though, is this young woman on stage receiving an award for courage, while one of the men who robbed her sits in jail. In Lexington, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And while police officers commended Zara Adil for her actions, they also would not recommend others putting themselves in such a dangerous situation. WKYT This Morning on your Wednesday is just getting started. It sure is good to have you with us.
In case you didn't know, Mother's Day Sunday. Moms Every Day has some great gift ideas when we return.
And it is a warm one outside for today. We're looking at those temperatures going from the 50s and 60s to the 80s, maybe even approaching 90 in our forecast. I'll show you when you can expect that coming up.